The most dangerous people in any room aren't the loudest. They're not the ones telling you their dreams, their goals, their next big move. They're the ones you never see coming. And right now, while everyone else is broadcasting their intentions like a neon sign, there's a select group who understands something forbidden about human psychology. Something so powerful that knowing it feels like crossing a line you can't come back from. They know that every time you reveal your plans, you hand someone else the blueprint to your destruction. Why do the wrong people always seem to win? Why does sharing your goals actually make you fail? What are successful people hiding that you're not? How do predators choose their victims? And why does being honest feel like losing? Last week, a friend told me how his coworker stole his promotion, not by working harder, not by being smarter, but because my friend made one fatal mistake. He told everyone what he was planning to do. He shared his strategy. He revealed his timeline. And his coworker said nothing, did everything, got everything. This isn't about paranoia. This is about understanding a truth that rewires your brain permanently. Right now, people are desperately trying to figure out why their plans always fail when they share them. How certain people always stay 3 steps ahead. What's the hidden psychology that separates winners from everyone else who's still struggling? And today you'll discover why your openness is your biggest weakness. Here's the situation. We live in a world that rewards transparency, but the game is actually won by those who master opacity. If you ignore this, you'll keep wondering why others always seem to outmaneuver you. But stick around and you'll learn the exact framework that makes you psychologically unreadable. You've been programmed to believe that sharing your goals creates accountability, that telling people your plans makes them real. But here's what they never told you. Every time you announce your intentions, you're doing 2 things that guarantee your failure. First, you're triggering what psychologists call social reality. Your brain gets the reward of accomplishment just from talking about it. You literally lose motivation because you've already gotten the dopamine hit. But the second thing? That's where it gets dark. When you reveal your plans, you're not just losing motivation. You're arming your competition. You're giving your enemies a roadmap. You're turning yourself into a predictable target. But wait, there's something even more sinister happening. 500 years ago, a man watched kingdoms fall and princes destroy each other. He saw patterns that nobody wanted to admit existed, and he wrote them down in a book so dangerous it was banned by the church. A book that kings tried to burn. A book that still makes people uncomfortable today. That man was Niccolò Machiavelli. And what he understood about hidden intent will completely transform how you navigate every conversation for the rest of your life. Machiavelli discovered something about power that made him the most hated philosopher in history. He said, "Everyone sees what you appear to be, few experience what you really are." Think about that. Everyone sees what you appear to be. This isn't about lying. This is about understanding that your plans, your intentions, your next moves, these are your most valuable currency. And most people, they're spending it like it's worthless. Here's where your whole reality shifts. Machiavelli wasn't teaching evil. He was teaching reality. He watched how the most successful people actually operated, not how they claimed to operate. And he found that those who survived, thrived, and conquered all had one thing in common. They never revealed their true intentions until it was too late for anyone to stop them. You've been taught that honesty means telling everyone everything. But Machiavelli knew that honesty and transparency are not the same thing. You can be completely honest without revealing your plans. You can be ethical without being exposed. If you've ever felt like you're always playing defense while others play offense, you're already living this truth. You just didn't have the framework to understand it. You have the right to keep your ambitions private until they're unstoppable. Here's what's actually happening in your brain when you keep your plans hidden. And this changes everything about how you see yourself. When you don't reveal your intentions, you create what I call strategic ambiguity. Your mind stays flexible, your options stay open. You can pivot without explaining yourself. You can fail without public humiliation. You can succeed without jealous interference. But here's the twist nobody expects. Keeping your plans hidden isn't about deceiving others. It's about protecting your psychological sovereignty. Every time you announce a goal, you unconsciously start performing for your audience instead of pursuing your purpose. And think about the last time you told someone about a big goal. What happened next? You started worrying about what they thought. You began adjusting your timeline based on their expectations. You felt pressure to update them on your progress. You turned your dream into their entertainment. Most people will never understand this, but you're different because you're still here, absorbing truths that make others squirm. Let me tell you about Marcus. He wanted to start his own company. For months, he told everyone about it, his business plan, his investors, his timeline. And for months, nothing happened. Then he went dark, told no one anything. 6 months later, he launched a seven-figure business. The difference, when he stopped talking, he started building. If you've ever felt guilty about keeping secrets, that guilt was society trying to disarm you. But what happens when you embrace this power is where everything changes. You have two choices right now, and only one of them leads to the life you actually want. Choice one, keep doing what you've been doing. Keep announcing your moves. Keep seeking validation through revelation. Keep wondering why everyone else seems to get there first. Choice two, embrace the power of hidden intent. Become psychologically invisible. Move in silence until your results speak so loud that nobody can ignore them. But here's what nobody tells you about choice two, and this is why most people can't handle it. When you stop revealing your plans, people get uncomfortable. They'll call you secretive. They'll say you've changed. They'll try to guilt you into oversharing again. Because here's the forbidden truth. People want to know your plans so they can feel better about their own lack of action. They want to watch your story unfold like a TV show. They want to judge your progress, offer unsolicited advice, and secretly hope you fail so they don't feel bad about their own inaction. It's not cruel to protect yourself from these energy vampires. It's necessary. The reason this truth is so dangerous? After this, you'll see that 90% of your conversations are actually intelligence-gathering missions. People fishing for information, probing for weakness, looking for advantages. But here's where you flip the entire script. You're about to learn why the most powerful people you know never seem worried about competition. It's not because they don't have any. It's because they've mastered something that makes competition irrelevant. If this is hitting different than anything you've heard before, that like button is your first act of strategic rebellion. Hit it now because you're about to cross a line most people are too scared to approach. Machiavelli wrote, "Men are so simple and so ready to obey present necessities." Translation: people only see what's right in front of them. They only react to what's obvious, which means if you control what's obvious, you control the entire game. This is where hidden intent becomes your superpower. While everyone else is playing checkers, announcing every move, you're playing chess in the shadows. You're 3 moves ahead because nobody knows you're even playing. You have the right to protect your dreams from people who would destroy them. You have the right to build in private and celebrate in public. You have the right to be strategic about who gets access to your plans. If you've ever felt like certain people drain your energy just by asking about your life, you were sensing their predatory curiosity. Here's the framework that transforms you into someone unreadable. The 3 levels of strategic revelation. Level 1, surface intent, what you tell everyone. Generic, harmless, true but incomplete. I'm exploring new opportunities. Level 2, tactical misdirection, what you tell those fishing for information. True but misleading. I'm really focused on learning right now. Level 3, hidden intent, what you tell no one until it's done. Your actual plan, timeline, and strategy. But wait until you see what happens when you master all 3 levels. When you implement these 3 levels, something incredible happens. People stop seeing you as competition because they can't figure out what game you're playing. You become psychologically unreadable. You become the person nobody sees coming. Most people watching will forget this framework within days. But you're different. You're going to use it, starting tomorrow. What you thought was your weakness, your tendency to keep things to yourself, is actually your hidden power. Every time you felt guilty for not sharing your plans, you were actually protecting your psychological sovereignty. Every time you stayed quiet while others announced their goals, you were conserving your strategic advantage. You're not secretive. You're strategic. You're not closed off. You're selective. You're not deceptive. You're protective. It's not selfish to guard your ambitions. It's survival. This is the moment where your old self dies. The version of you that needed everyone's approval, the version that confused transparency with integrity, the version that gave away power in exchange for validation. That person is gone. And in their place, someone far more dangerous. Someone who understands that silence is not empty. It's full of potential. Someone who knows that the best move is often the one nobody sees coming. If you've made it this far, you're not the same person who clicked on this video. You can't be, because this knowledge rewires your social operating system permanently. You're finally going to be unreadable. And that terrifies people who benefit from your predictability. From this moment forward, you have permission to keep your plans private until they're complete. Refuse to explain your moves to people who haven't earned that privilege. Build in silence and let success make the noise. Protect your energy from curiosity vultures. If you've ever wondered why you instinctively don't trust people who ask too many questions, your survival instincts were protecting you all along. Most people will never see this video. They'll never understand why you become so strategically powerful. But you're different. You're willing to embrace truths that others find uncomfortable. You're ready to play the game at a level most people don't even know exists. The question now isn't whether you understand the power of hidden intent. It's whether you have the courage to use it. Tomorrow, someone will ask you about your plans, your goals, your next move. And in that moment, you'll have a choice. Give them the blueprint to your future, or give them just enough to satisfy their curiosity while keeping your true power hidden. While everyone else is still oversharing, you'll be building empires in the shadows. If you're choosing strategic sovereignty over social approval, if you're choosing psychological invisibility over predictable transparency, if you're choosing to become someone who nobody sees coming, then you belong here. This isn't just a channel, it's a revolution in how you understand power, psychology, and human nature. Every video is another piece of forbidden knowledge that most people will never learn. Subscribe now, not because I told you to, but because you've already decided you're done being readable. You're done being predictable. You're done giving away your power. Drop a comment with just the word invisible if you're ready to disappear from the radar while you build something massive. Your transformation has already begun. The only question is, how far are you willing to take it? Remember, everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. And after today, you're going to become impossible to read. Welcome to your new reality.